Recording. Go ahead and write this down. Oh, by the way, I did get the books, the book. So you'll be getting copies here and there starting tomorrow. You'll also get a review. Basically, I'm going to give you a lot of the questions during the week. On Thursday afternoon, I'll upload kind of like a review to RenWeb. So if you haven't accessed RenWeb, you need to go as soon as possible because on Thursday, I'm going to upload the review because your test is Friday. First thing is Matthew. Chapter 5. This week. Oops. See something bigger. Yes. Matthew chapter 5. Yes. Seven through 9. Matthew chapter 5, 7 through 9. That's your memory verse.
Could I read it, Mr.
7 to 9?
We're going to read it. Go ahead and take your Bibles out.
You said 7 to 9?
Yes, 7 through 9. That's our memory verse. Due on Friday. Yes. Yeah, go ahead and read it.
Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God.
What is the first type of person it talks about in that passage? Yes.
Blessed are the pure heart, for they will see God.
Pure heart, for they will see God. What do you think it takes to have a pure heart? You look at somebody and you go, I want to beat him up. Is that a pure heart? Or you look at somebody else and you go, I hate that person. Is that a pure heart? Go ahead.
Repentant?
Pure heart refers to your mind. That your mind is clear of all that stuff. If you look at something that's bad, Paul says in the New Testament, meditate on things that are pure and holy and beautiful. So if you constantly fill your stuff with crap, garbage, when you start seeing the world, you're going to see that same stuff because it went in. We'll talk about that in this one. Lesson 3 is called God Speaks. If God were to actually talk to you using his voice, what do you think it would sound like? We know that the Bible, we know that. But if he actually talked to you, spoke to you directly, what would he sound like? Very deep? Yes.
Sometimes I feel like I hear like voices in my head telling me like a lot of stuff.
Or you hear voices in your head?
Voices in my head.
If you hear hey, do you talk to yourself?
I only have like one voice to just talk to.
Okay, what did it say?
Like sometimes whenever it's a bad situation, it tells me to do like whatever is a good thing.
Raise your hand if you talk to yourself. Most people do. It's go ahead and lower your hands. Believe it or not, very normal. It's okay to talk to yourself. What is not normal and not okay is to answer yourself. For example, the voice says, "Hey, how you doing?" And you go, "I'm doing well. How are you?" That's not cool. You understand? There's a difference. If you start answering to that voice and having talked to the voice, that ain't cool. Yes.
Wait, like in fourth grade, so something happened and it was like
I'm not gonna say no name, but there was someone in the back, right?
Oh, yeah.
So then she like, hi, Nicole.
That's not what happened.
Well, I don't remember, but
She got in trouble for doing something.
Abby.
Who?
Abby.
Abby.
She's
She's
not
not
here
coming
no
to
more.
school. So then after we have the same exact classroom. So she said, Abigail, there was this little table in the back to sit and stuff. She said Abby right there. Then Abby had her headphones. She took her mini bag, but she wasn't listening to music. And she was like, hi, Abby. And then she was like, hi, Abby.
She was like, it was funny because we can hear her up here. So she was like, hi, Abigail. Hi, Abigail. How are you? Oh, I'm doing good. How are you? She was just going back
Are
and
you just
forth.
playing?
No, I don't know if Abby was playing. And then I'm like, Abby, what are you doing? And then she was like, nothing. Then she just started bursting out to laugh. I think she was playing too.
No,
Like, she loves
so
attention,
She
you
was
know?
like, we were like,
Hey. So when God speaks, you think of His spoken word. We know that it's the Bible, the Bible, Bible. He shows you what to do, what not to do. We're going to talk about that in this passage and this section. But oftentimes, His voice comes as rushing waters. It's described as rushing waters. It's like, let me show you what I mean. Rushing waters looks like this. I knew this guy actually. Okay, this is what it would sound like, or it would feel like, or like it. Pay very close attention. Yeah.
Tsunami said,
Tsunami.
told you.
I don't.
That couldn't be it.
he's a pro surfer.
Then no, it's not.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
It's a tsunami.
I don't see.
That is up over you.
That's not.
But the waters are high.
That's tsunami.
It's not even high.
It's like a
No, this is high.
Like,
Okay, pay close attention. You can't hear it as well on this thing. You can't hear it as well.
I petty, sir. Just say
Hush, children.
But the idea is that you hear the voice of a huge crashing wave. Something that almost blows your eardrums out. And that's what the voice of God sounds like, if you're able to hear it. There's another part of the Bible that says, okay, a gentle whisper. Those are the two extremes shown in the Bible, or speak of in the Bible, of God's voice. Rushing water, or crashing water, and then a gentle whisper. Back in Bible days, they didn't know what a atomic bomb sounded like. It probably was like an atomic bomb. But to them, the only thing they knew that made a huge sound was rushing waters. One time, a couple times, but one time in particular, God spoke to Elijah up in the mountain, and he spoke to him in a whisper. And he was able to go out and talk to God directly. But most of the time, we have to have what we call, this is an important term, discernment. 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 It's DISCERMENT. That's one of the main things we're going to be talking about in this lesson. Discernment. Anybody know what discernment means? A lot of people, like they, what's his name? I'm sorry. Santiago. He starts telling a story that he went to Zimbabwe and he met a king in Zimbabwe, and the king took him safari hunting, and Santiago killed a rhinoceros with his bare hands. He's telling this story, and you're looking at him going, this boy's a liar. But you discern that that's not reality. That's just made up. He's making stuff up. You can look at a situation, understand a situation, and understand what seeing things as they really are. Discernment is seeing things as they really are. Seeing things as they really are.
Bless you. Bless you.
That is the definition of discernment. You see things how they really are. Teachers, adults often have that with kids. The kids telling a story of why they didn't do their homework. Oh, I did it last night, but then walking out, a bird came and took the paper away. You know, and you don't need that much discernment to know if people are lying. It usually refers to someone lying in a situation that looks one way and then actually something else is happening, or actually happened. The reality of the situation, not the made up stuff. How many, raise your hands, I just question. How many of you guys watch TV? Have watched TV? Okay, put your hands up. How many of you know that many times what you see on TV is not really reality? Okay, know that at least. A little box that speaks to you isn't real. You know that, right? A little box that speaks to you isn't real.
It's a rectangle.
Whatever. But there are some people that believe what they actually see and what those people on TV are telling them, everything is real. It really did happen, or it really didn't happen. So you have to be careful. You have to be able to look at those, what they're the stories they're saying, especially in the news. When the news says all this other stuff, and you're like, I don't know, man. That doesn't sound right. Yes.
Like on Saturday I saw the weather, right? And they said it's gonna rain, but it was just like it kind of rained, but they said it's gonna rain for like 3 hours. 9 a.m. and the rest are gonna be cloudy. And then when it was 9, I would like look in the time every hour. When it's 9 a.m. the sun came out, so I keep looking up time before driving. No sun came out.
That happens a lot with the weather. 1 second. There was a hurricane last year. It was supposed to be the biggest hurricane in the whole wide world ever. It was heading to, what was the hurricane last year in Miami?
Hurricane
Irma.
It was Irma, I think it was Irma. So you see it out in the Atlantic, and it was huge. It wasn't necessarily that fast, but it was like the biggest hurricane ever. That's what they were saying. So a lot of people around us were saying this is the end of the world, we're going to be underwater forever. So they got packed up and they drove up to Tennessee. Like, get out, totally Florida. Because all Florida's going to be dead. And so people closer to me were like, we gotta go. I'm like, look, the weather pattern changes. I go by what the Hurricane Center tells me, not what Telemundo or NBC or the news tells me. what the weather people actually tell me. And it kept going, coming toward Miami, but it was not going to be the biggest storm in the whole world.
Only the trees.
So eventually I got so much pressure. So we drove in the middle of the night, because it wasn't coming for another like day and a half. Directly to Miami, but not really. So a day and a half before, we drove all the way across the state, crossed Orlando, went to Lakeland. Lakeland's on the west side of Florida. It's a long drive. And I didn't want to go right then and there because everybody was leaving Miami, or from where we were living. So it would have been a mess. It took us like 10 hours to get there. They didn't travel with anybody else. So we get there, Lakeland, hurricane's way on the other side of Florida. So the hurricane stops short of Miami, comes around Florida, comes up the west coast, and hits Lakeland, boom, head on. Like head on. As the eye went over Lakeland. We're in a nice house, but all that because I wanted to just see what the weather people said. And they said, we still don't know. We still don't know. It's definitely not going to be the biggest thing in the whole world. The people in Miami, where we were living, we live on the ocean. We live on the coast. Our building didn't lose power. Our building had water. I mean, people in Miami, some was pretty bad, but you have to be careful. You have to have discernment. What is the opposite of discernment? It's called an antonym. An antonym is the opposite of what it actually the definition is. The definition is seeing things as really are. The antonym is uncertainty, and confusion. What happens if people get confused? Yes.
They start, when they're confused, they think that's right, but they also think that's right, but they don't know which is which, and they start like hallucinating.
Yeah, they start like looking around, confused, they don't know what's going on. What do they start feeling after they get confused? They start getting afraid. When you're confused, you don't know what's going on, automatically you start being afraid. And that leads to a lot of problems. If you're confused, you start getting all these worked up about a lot of stuff. And before you know it, you're in panic mode. Panic mode. Panic. Like you're panicking for everything. The world's going to end in 10 years if we don't cut back gases or whatever. End. 10 years. We're going to all die in 10 years. Really?
Like on YouTube, they keep like posting pictures about the Earth now, and then it's gonna be all like brown.
Yeah, it's going to be all
It's
dead.
always
and stuff.
like
Somebody made a video about like what happened if humans were gone.
People kept making
if God was
videos
in,
of
if
like,
God was here,
And then they made a video about like what kind of states would be here.
Is it wrong for a Christian to be afraid? No. Is it wrong for a Christian to sometimes be confused?
no.
No. But for the most part, Christians who trust in God have a peace. That's the opposite of uncertainty and confusion. They're at peace. What if you don't know what's going on? Do you get panicked as a Christian? Should you get panicked? No. You shouldn't. There's a story in the Bible, we'll talk about it, not in this section, but later on. Jesus was in the boat with his disciples. They went on the ocean, and the waves were super high. Raining, they were going to tip over. Jesus was on the boat. Do you remember what Jesus was doing on the boat?
Jesus was sleeping.
He was sleeping. Now he's in the back of the boat, sleeping. Snoring, probably. Drooling. And they were panicking. Totally confused. We're going to die. But then, if you think about it, we're going to die? God's here with us, literally, and He's resting. Why can't you just chill? I don't know, run in the rain or something. Huh? Run around the boat in the rain. But they started panicking, and Jesus woke up and says, "Oh, you have little faith." He always said, "How can you not have faith? Even the worst storm, I'm still here, and I'm sleeping." So, chill. In other words, for what happens to someone who has a sermon is they chill. Let me read you this. It says, let me see. Here's the point. Pay close attention to TV commercials. Consider the need to listen attentively and consider that you should not accept anything you hear. Yeah, I just said that. List as many examples as you can of ways different commercials try to make you respond from a lack of discernment or a foolish point of view. Not shows, commercials. Commercials on TV. Think of commercials that you've seen on TV that try to trick you. Try to get you to buy something or be fearful of something. And if you don't have discernment, you see the people buying and getting all panicky. Go ahead and write down your notes. Give me 3 commercials off the top of your head that you've seen. Let me give an example like,
That work?
That's-
Do they
that-
work or
that
they're
trick
like
you?
fake?
Ooh.
no, that make you, they try to trick you. But you'll be able to see the discernment.
Oh.
Just write it in a sheet of paper and they'll ask you about it. Commercials, 3. Yes. Write it on a sheet of paper
Starbucks.
and they'll ask you about them.
Wait.
Can it be like I have an idea of one, but like, can it be like a show, like you're watching a show, but the person in the show is watching a commercial? Can it be like that?
Person in the show,
Is watching a commercial?
and what's the commercial about?
Like a flea collar.
Okay.
but Instead of
Describe the
for a
situation.
dog, it's a collar.
Describe the situation.
Okay.
Mr. Busan.
Yes.
So there was this video that I was watching about food, like how they trick you and how they make it look good, but when you get it for real, it's not good.
Yeah.
Oh
I've seen
yeah,
it
with the
before.
pancakes, they use
McDonald's.
motor oil.
Yes, they use.
They don't use syrup.
Yeah,
And
we
then they
went to
put
Chili's.
cardboard.
We went to Chili's, and then suddenly, my mom ordered the iced tea, and the lady was nice, but my mom asked her, oh, why does the iced tea doesn't look like in the picture from the poster? And then she was like, oh no, cause you know how like McDonald's burger, yeah. But I was like, I told her, okay, then why she didn't ask her? She just says, oh, it's just like this and that. But I'm like trying to figure out because the lady didn't tell us why it doesn't look like the same.
They use
She just
food
gives us-
stylists. When they take pictures of restaurants, it's kind of sort of the food, but they have a artist who not only photoshops it, in other words, makes the picture better, but make it so you can't really eat it, but it looks like delectable.
I feel like you worked at one of these places.
You tried.
That's how you know
Me.
all this stuff.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Daddy's.
not me. You should work. If you work in the place, you will definitely know.
But Mr. Dusan, it was like this McDonald's commercial. They're talking about how fresh the burgers are, how the burgers are so fresh. No, wait, let me finish.
Right.
So then, after the man went there, he was doing like an experiment to see if the burgers will really look like the commercial. So he had went to McDonald's and Burger King, whatever, got their signature burgers. He looked at it, only one out of all of them were looking good. So he went up to the people and said, can you get this burger looking like this burger? Then he said, okay, we can try. So then they went back there and got it looking a little bit better. All they did was like make it unsloppy.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna point to you. You gave me one other commercial besides the fast food one. Yes, one other besides fast
One
food.
Chuck E. Cheese. is one thing.
That's food.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Laundry detergent.
Laundry detergent. What so?
What soap?
No, how so?
When they say it really works, but when you buy it, it really doesn't.
Not Tide is true.
Not
Yes.
Tide.
Like
It's
some
other
like
one with
different
plants.
different apps are like scan apps.
Apps that are scam apps? Apps?
Apps.
Viruses. Really, they're viruses.
But Mr. Deshaun,
Yes.
the only fast food that's not big is Chick-fil-A.
And what?
Yes.
What is it?
The only fast food that's not big is Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
They try to trick you into telling that it's healthy food.
Chick-fil-A's
Real quick,
Ain't no
somebody mentioned soap.
dial.
No, the soap that they use to wash clothes. Laundry soap.
laundry soap. the-
There is a lot of them, a lot of commercials. Laundry soap, like what you use to clean your clothes. Put your clothes, you put the laundry soap, put the
Laundry
wash.
detergent.
Detergent.
Oh, it's
You
detergent,
already
right,
did
right.
it down.
Detergent.
You
Okay,
already got it down.
laundry.
The third one.
Oh, okay, you're right. Okay, laundry detergent. Put your hands down, real quick. Laundry detergent. There's the natural ones. The natural laundry detergents. They're good for the environment. They cost more because they're more pure and stuff. Non-GMO. But do they clean better?
Not even
My mom, my grandmother swear by, when they clean the house, they swear by vinegar and water. Ew. That stuff, no, it cleans, but vinegar and water does not disinfect. It doesn't. If you want something disinfected, use Clorox. You don't like it? Too bad. Use Clorox. Don't use grape juice. No, that doesn't disinfect. It might make it smell good and take away the sticky stuff. Put another type of sticky stuff. Use the good stuff, the stuff that's going to kill the planet, those type of stuff, chemicals. Use those, especially in cleaning. Yes.
So you know that one app that everyone's like talking about, right? So like whenever you scratch it, you get all three matching, and then it gives you money.
Lottery?
Yeah, no, not that.
I've heard of it.
It's an app that
Okay.
somebody else that's something that
Lucky
made.
I'm not saying this is all false, but two things that other students have brought up. You've heard of the term non-GMO, non-GMO, and organic. Most people look at that non-GMO, that's what mom gets us. Because non-GMOs are better. If the GMO is really, really bad. Non-GMOs are good, they're natural, healthy, healthier, better. Organic, 10 times better than regular. That's what they say. Now, if you were to ask a person, how do you know that? Why? How do you know? Because they tell you. You see it on TV. They say milk, non-GMO. How can milk be non-GMO? Especially if you don't know what a GMO is. How can milk be a non-GMO? It doesn't work that way. How can milk be organic? That's not what organic means. Milk cannot be organic. So when they tell you organic milk, that must be good. That doesn't mean anything. You know, what does it mean? When you actually study a little bit, you realize that's why they charge me an extra $5 or $6 for a bottle of milk. You go to how many of your parents go to Whole Foods?
My mama would not jump all the way.
You know, Whole Foods. Just 1 second, sweet. Whole Foods. You walk into Whole Foods with $100. You walk out with 2 carrots and a potato. It's that expensive. It's a joke, but you buy so little in Whole Foods. My wife and I first got married, and she believed in non-GMO organic stuff, and she loves GMO because Whole Foods everything's good. So she went one day. I was sick, and she was gonna make me some chicken soup. She went to Whole Foods. She bought the groceries and bought like 2 little bags, to make chicken soup, and asked how much to spend. $110.
wow.
$110 for stuff to make chicken soup? Yeah, because this is organic and no, she bought other stuff. But those 2 little bags is not worth $110. You go to Publix and you pay, I don't know, $25. So I'm not telling you that it's wrong, but find out why they're charging you so much, or are they just tricking you to buy more? And are there times that it's legitimate, and other times that it isn't? Find out why. Very important. You have to have discernment in real life. If not, you're confused. But the TV says, but the news say, you sure? Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. And there was a guy in your Bibles, turn to Hebrews. I'll finish with this. In that note, in your notes, and then I'll let you ask your question. Hebrews 4:12,
Is Hebrews in the New or Old Testament?
New Testament.
Thank you.
Hebrews 4:12. I want you to take the verse, Hebrews 4:12, and write it all out. It's only one verse. On that notebook sheet of paper, write out the verse, Hebrews 4:12, and write it out verbatim. Let me see what it looks like. Do me a favor, turn on one of the lights, because you guys need to be able to write. Turn on the
No,
one
we're good.
on the inside.
No, the window's open.
Oh my, thank you.
Okay, that works.
So yellow.
Okay, that works. As long as you guys can see better,
Cold.
be able to write.
It's cold.
No computers today. After you write that down, go ahead and put that away. Your only homework is memory verse.
I'm gonna look it up. I don't know. There's a table somewhere.
No, I don't have
Is Hebrews before James? Oh, I found it. Can I read it?
No, I
Go ahead and read it.
Hebrews 4:12. For the word of God is living and the active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit, joints and marrow. Is just the thoughts and attitudes of the heart. You found it?
Yeah, that's what you write down. Class is over,
This is long.
so for homework, memory verse, and finish writing the verse on your notes. Go ahead and go to your next class. Go ahead and go to your locker room. Write Hebrews 4:12 in your notes, and then continue memorizing Matthew 5:7-9.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Promise me.
Hi, have a good one.